Hi, this is James from the Hornbill Professional Services team, and this is a short tutorial to show you how to configure your user imports and some handy tips around how you can make your managers stand out, so in a way that you can actually flag who your managers are and who is a manager. So as you can see here, we're now using the 7.6 client, which is with ITSM 3.4.14. So this is the latest at the present time. So what we're going to do is just show you an import, and then going to show you what the data looks like from the other side. So once you go back into the client, and then so you could just run a couple of quick checks, and we're also going to do a little bit of JavaScript, not too much, to show you how you can improve your data imports, so you can cut down on the sort of manual side of things. So what we're going to do is just going to show you, I've got a spreadsheet pre-done, so I'm just going to show you that. As you can see here, I only have a couple of contacts that I'm going to bring in, and I'm not going to bring in every field. I'm not going to go through the whole UserDB import itself, but I'm just going to do a simple one here, just purely for the benefit of the whole manager fields. So I have two contacts. I have a Wayne Rooney and a David Moyes. Yeah, I happen to be a Manchester United fan, so these guys wanted to be contacts in the system. So you can see here that we've got the mandatory key search field, which is in the UserDB table, and also first name, surname, company name, manager is a manager. What I've done from the client point of view first is I have created a organisation already called Manchester United. As you'll be able to see, there you go. So I've already created that ready for the actual import itself. So I've moved the actual Excel spreadsheet onto the server itself, and we're going to go to Start, All Programs, SupportWorks Server, then Data Import Manager. I'm going to switch across to the Excel Imports tab. So there's quite a few in here, but I'm going to create a new one. So let's import Manu Staff, click OK. So now we're presented with this particular screen here. So this is where we're going to have a look for the actual file itself. So if we just click on the button there, it's got the three dots on it, we're going to just select 2007 files because it's XLSX. So I'm going to click on that and go to Open. You'll then need to just select the worksheet, which is worksheet 1. I'm just going to go query sample just to make sure it's brought up the right information. I can confirm, that I've got both of them in there. I'm going to then select the particular columns that I need. So you can select all of them. And now I'm going to go on to the target value mapping tab. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to select the SW data database. For some particular reason you need to select it twice. I believe that is a bug in the system, but hopefully we'll sort that one out soon. I'm going to select the UserDB table because that's the customer table, that's the table we're going to be importing into. And you won't change this is the unique key, which is key search. So you can see in the top right hand side here we're allowing both inserts and updates. However, when this runs, there will both be inserts, but it's advisable to keep that ticked anyway, purely for the fact of if you've got this data import scheduled regularly, so you've got a weekly or maybe got something ongoing from LDAP with AD, then any updates you do want to come in, so it's worth keeping that box ticked there. So I'm not going to import all these particular fields down the left hand column here. It shows you all of the columns within the UserDB table. I'm just going to select the key search column, click on the right hand side here, go to insert value, key search. So this will come up with a particular code. It will say XLS dot. I think LDAP says LDAP dot when you use that side of things. You can go check syntax. You can see that it's automatically brought that up, of D Moyes, W Rooney. So you can just confirm that it's come through correct, and that's definitely what we want for our key search. which is usually the actual unique identifier against a record in your AD systems, or maybe like an employee number. So I'm going to fill in all the other columns, so it's very simple in terms of, we're going to select first name, it's first name. I'm going to go all the way down to surname, which is surname. I'm now going to populate the company name, and remember that you'll need to populate 2 areas for the company name, because you'll also need to populate the FK company ID. So this will be the ID of the company that they work for. I know it's set to Man United. So just check the syntax. I've included the apostrophes there just to make sure the syntax is correct. I'm now going to fill in, let's go for site, which I've pre-selected. Again, I've created Old Trafford already as a site, so that'll be going in there. So now what we're going to do is, I think we're ready to go into the manager field. Yes, we are. Okay. Now there's 2 manager fields. There's FK manager and there's also flag_manager. So FK manager is basically the your particular manager. So this won't be whether you're a manager. This will be who is your manager. So the first thing I'm going to do now is just go back to the spreadsheet and just show you what I've done here, because in this manager field I've not specified David Space Moyes, I've specified D Moyes. That's because the FK column requires the actual primary key of that record. So if I go back to in here, we can go insert value manager, so we can check that syntax, and it says D Moyes, which is good, and I've left the other one blank, so that should be blank. Yes, it is. So it's basically saying that Wayne Rooney's manager is David Moyes. David Moyes doesn't have a manager. Now what we can do for the flag manager is you can set this in the spreadsheet itself. As you can see, I've set it as a 0 and a 1, or you can use some clever coding, which I'll show you actually on the web flag value. So if I just go back to the data import here, what I'm going to do is just do the simple one for now. So I'm just going to select the is a manager, check the syntax is 1, so it's 1 for David Moyes and 0 for Wayne Rooney. So what I'm going to do now is, I mean, you can import it from here, that's absolutely fine. So let's say we want to populate the web flag column. Now the web flag is a set number. So the web flag is your rights to self-service and also logging calls from email. So basically it's all put down to a particular number, therefore the amount of boxes that you check is a particular number. So what I'm going to do is just type in just a small bit of JavaScript in here. I'm just going to copy some of the text from the flag. Here's manager, you'll see why in a second. So what I'm going to do is going to type in if, open bracket, is a manager, 2 equal signs, is 1, close bracket, then open parentheses, and then 1919, so that's going to be the web flag value. So that's saying if manager is set to 1, then set it to 1919, else set it to 1871. So let's check the syntax on that. You see that we're on Wayne Rooney here, so it's saying if is a manager is 1 in the spreadsheet, then set it to 1919, else set it to 1871. And then you'll see that the 1919 will have more boxes ticked, higher number, therefore more boxes ticked and more rights. So if I apply that, that's all now ready to go. Now you can use these JavaScript references for any particular field in here that you wish. So you could have used the flag manager for a similar thing in terms of maybe you don't have in your Active Directory who is a manager, who isn't a manager, but maybe have job title in there. So you could check whether the word manager appears in the job title, therefore set flag manager equals 1. Or you can do something similar in literally all of these particular fields here, so you can use the same sort of coding. So it's not anything too complex, but it can be really handy. So now this is all completed, what I'm going to do is just go to the Control and Schedule tab and click on Run Import Now. You can see that it's inserted to, which is correct. I'm just going to click OK and close the Data Input Manager. So now we're back into the client. What I'm going to do is just search for Manchester as the organisation. You'll see that 2 have now appeared. So now we've got a David Moyes and a Wayne Rooney. So let's go into the Wayne Rooney contact. Bear in mind that this error has appeared here to say there's no record in the UserDB rating table. Usually when you do imports, you would have a separate import into the UserDB rating table. So basically you could do a SQL import directly from UserDB into UserDB rating. I'll do that in a separate video to help you out there. Okay, so now you can see that Wayne Rooney has come through. There seems to be a problem with the manager field. Looks like D. Moyes hasn't come through for what particular reason, but I'll check that just now. But you can see is a manager hasn't been selected, which is correct. Let's go to D. Moyes. Is manager is selected, so that's fine, that's all good. Let's check the Service Desk Access tab. You can see that boxes are now ticked. You can see that you've got view sites and organisations requests here, whereas in the Wayne Rooney's account you'll see that they're not ticked. Therefore that bit of JavaScript has worked. Okay, let's go back to the import itself. Got a funny idea, this is down to the full name. If I haven't included it, then we need to do so. Yeah, that's it, yeah. So just another little bit of JavaScript as well in here. So I'm just going to enter in first name plus apostrophe space apostrophe, and then another plus, then surname. So the reason why the manager didn't appear correctly was purely because the full name wasn't there in the system, so it's not displaying anything. In that manager column it's trying to display the full name. So as you can see, it's got Wayne space Rooney there, so that's what that does. So I'm just going to run that import now. You can just update it too. And if I go back into Wayne Rooney, there we go. So the manager's populated now, that's correct. So that's all in regards to getting the manager set up and ensuring that the tick boxes are there to say that they are a manager and making sure that the rights is correct. It can be really helpful because managers aren't always flagged in your AD system. Maybe some are, some aren't. So it's also a good way of not going through your customer records just to think on which ones are a manager and only to tick more boxes. So it's quite handy from that point of view as well. But if you have any questions, please let me know.